Alright people, welcome back to Conqueror and Commander. Today we're going to be looking at my old Wrexial the Risen Deep deck. Basically, I haven't had much time recently to put together a new list, so what I'm going to do is go through all my old Dimir decks and see how they play today. And as a matter of fact, if you go to Pure MTGO, and in this video description, I will have a link to the article. This was back in September of 2010, so it's an old list. But here's the list itself, and you'll be able to take a look at it. You know, the Dimir decks actually hold up pretty well. I don't run a lot of counter spells, and this deck actually has a higher average CMC than I would probably run today. But, you know, this deck actually reminded me that some of the older cards that you don't see as much anymore are still pretty powerful. So let's go ahead and take a look at the opponents here. First up, we've got Karametra, God of Harvests. Gods are actually difficult for Dimir decks to deal with unless you're running counter spells and stuff like that. But Karametra is obviously going to be ramping and causing problems. Next up, we've got Kaalia of the Vast, who is dragons and angels and demons. Oh my! And finally, we've got Teysa, Envoy of Ghosts, who can be problematic by destroying the creatures that you would attack her with. So, taking a look at my hand, this is a kind of a risky hand, but I've got Falling Glaciers and Mystic Remora and a Vampiric Tutor, and a lot of low CMC stuff. So I decided to keep this, assuming that I can get Mystic Remora out there on turn 3, and then Vampiric Tutor for stuff that I need. I wouldn't recommend usually keeping this hand, but I was just having a fun time with it. Kaalia starts off with the first turn Soul Ring. I draw Mystical Tutor and play Falling Glaciers. Karametra just gets a Forest. Kaalia copies my Falling Glaciers with the Vesuva. Orzhov Signet for Teysa. I wait until after my turn to go ahead and Falling Glaciers for another island. I've got a swamp in my hand, and I drew that island, obviously. Next turn, I'm probably going to play Thada Adel. Kaalia plays Windbrisk Heights, which is a little weird because, well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine because Kaalia is going to be pretty aggressive, and then uses Thawing Glaciers to search up a mountain and bounce it back to her hand. Teysa does a whole lot of nothing. I'm going to go ahead and play Thada Adel and hopefully steal a Soul Ring from somebody, even though nobody else out here is playing blue. Karametra plays Champion of Lambholt, which is interesting. Vesuva copies the Swamp. Innocent Blood gets played by Teysa and gets rid of the two creatures that are out there. So fine. I'm going to go ahead and play Falling Glaciers and then Mystic Remora. Karametra plays Watwo. Honored Physician, which is interesting. Kaalia comes out with Sacred Foundry. The other interesting thing is last turn, there we go, Kaalia finally brings her commander out and then plays Champion's Home. I get to draw a card off that. That makes Kaalia hit a little harder and gives her a shout. Teysa's still doing nothing, so I Vamp Tutor I pay the upkeep on Mystic Remora for Ancestral Vision. Because I don't think that things are going to be really crazy right now. And I figure I have some time for my card draw to come into play. And then I use my Polluted Delta to search up a Watery Grave. I don't need any answers right now yet. Huatuo had a creature in her, or Karametra had, puts Champion of Lambholt back on top of her library. So she's obviously drawing into it. But this time she plays Spore Mound, which is interesting. One thing you'll notice about this Wrexial deck, this is my first Dimir deck that I ever built, and it doesn't really take advantage of Wrexial. It's more of like a Dimir control deck. So Spore Mound is interesting with all the landfall shenanigans with Karametra. So Kaalia decides she's going to come after me here. First she plays Ajani, the Boros of Ajani, which is not typically something you see played in multiplayer games, but you know, it's good at tapping stuff down, I guess. So I go ahead and draw a card off that, though. And then I get attacked with Kaalia. Kaalia brings Rakdos, Lord of Riots, out to join the fray. So I get hit for 10 right there. That allows him also to play Rusi, the Falling Star. Oh, and then he taps down my Watery Grave with Ajani. Life's Finale, though, comes out and blows things up. And I get to draw a card off the Mystic Grimoire with that. And then I use Thawing Glaciers to search up, I think, a swamp or something. And I draw Oblivion Stone. Life's Finale also is used to put a bunch of fat stuff into Kaalia's graveyard. We can't tell what it is. But like some of it was like Gisela and some other big fat stuff. Which is going to be good because I've got Puppeteer Click in my hand. So I think I decided to let Mystic Grimoire go. Yeah, I did. I play Reliquary Tower, and then I play Puppeteer Click, grabbing the Gisela from Kaalia's graveyard, and I attack her with it. I'm not worried about Ajani right now. I guess I could have killed Ajani. I just didn't want Gisela coming back from the graveyard and causing problems. So she's exiled. Karametra is going to come out to play. Ajani taps down my Watery Grave once again. And then plays Kaalia again, and then equips her again with the Champion's Helm. There's Beacon of Unrest targeting Rakdos, Lord of Riots, that was in Kaalia's graveyard. Now I've got Thawing Glaciers and Royal Elemental, which is a nice little combo. People forget about Royal Elemental, but this was a really annoying card back in the day. So I play the Thawing Glaciers and Phyrexian Reclamation. And I don't attack or anything. Karametra plays Champion of Lambhold again and gets another Plains. And then Safi Eric's daughter to ramp again. Teysa brought a Strip Mine out here, and this is important because you'll see why in a minute. Sword of Fire and Ice for Kaalia. My Thawing Glaciers gets tapped down by Ajani. Kaalia gets equips and then goes after Karametra. This is harsh. This is one of those things that you don't really see very often. Rakdos the Defiler. Bam! Now, the good thing is that Karametra can actually kind of recover pretty quickly. If she has some smaller creatures. So what she decides to do is when she gets hit, she gets knocked down to 27. She's got to sacrifice a bunch of stuff. She gets rid of her 2 creatures and a couple lands, so she still has 4 lands. Teysa, smartly, strip mines Kaalia's 1 black mana source. And then she's going to Wrath once again or something here. Oh, yeah, she kills off Ajani, thankfully. Because Ajani was getting close to ultimate. And then Teysa plays... What do you play, Teysa? Oh, Profane Command. And that got rid of Rakdos and hit Kaalia for a decent amount. So Kaalia's at 22, Karametra's at 27, I'm at 27, Teysa's at 40. So I draw a Talisman of Dominance, and then I play Mind's Eye, because I just want to start drawing a few more cards now, even though Ancestral Vision is about to go off here soon. I draw into Chancellor of the Spires. Heliod comes out to play for Karametra and helps her ramp, and then she's also got Selesnya Sanctuary. So she's got 2 gods. Kaalia plays Aurelia, which is good for her. And she uses Kaalia's ability to bring Udvara Hellkite out. Aurelia obviously has haste. And she hits Teysa really hard. So Teysa goes to 25. Then the second attack, she can't attack with Udvara Hellkite because it doesn't have haste. But she can bring out another big fatty. And she brings out a Chroma. Now what she should have done, honestly, she should have led off with a Chroma, because a Chroma does have haste, and she could have gotten 2 attacks in with a Chroma. So that's just a minor play error right there. And once again, she goes after the Teysa player with everything. So this knocks down Teysa down to 10, and it allows Kaalia to draw a couple more cards. So Rakdos goes after Karametra first. And then Teysa is going to Austere Command. She gets rid of fat creatures and artifacts, which unfortunately gets rid of my Talisman and my Mind's Eye. I lost my hand here. Where'd my hand go? There we go. Puppeteer Click dies, and when she comes back, I bring Advara Hellkite out. The reason I grabbed Advara Hellkite is when he attacks, I'm going to get a dragon left over, no matter what. So finally, Ancestral Vision goes off. I draw a few more cards. Teysa is at 8. I could have taken her out right here. Instead, what I do is I try and go after Kaalia and hit her hard. Teysa has been really helpful with the Wraths and stuff like that, and so I'm fine with keeping her around for for that. Kaalia drops to 16. The Advara Hellkite gets exiled. Karametra plays Soul of the Harvest, which now has Vigilance due to Heliod. Kaalia can't do anything now. Alright. So now Teysa plays her commander, which is going to be problematic here. So I decide to send Puppeteer Click after Teysa so that I can bring it back from my graveyard with Phyrexian Reclamation and steal more creatures from graveyards. And I'm going to hit Karametra with the dragon. The click dies. I play my Royal Elemental, and then I use my Falling Glaciers to steal the Soul of the Harvest with the landfall trigger there. Karametra plays Nylea, God of the Hunt. There's a lot of gods running around out there, and like I said, Dimir has a hard time with all these gods now. Kaalia still doesn't have the right colors. Plays Angelic Overseer. Darksteel Ingot for Teysa. And then Exquisite Blood. This is the problematic card for me. Yeah. So Teysa's going to attack me. And that's going to gain her some life. And then every time I use Phyrexian Reclamation, Exquisite Blood is going to trigger as well. I will go ahead and use Phyrexian Reclamation to get the click back. This means that Teysa is up to 12. With the landfall trigger, I grab the Spirit token. And then I grab Puppeteer Click, and I draw a card. And I get Aurelia. And then I play Solemn Simulacrum. I get another landfall trigger, and I steal the Overseer. I draw another card. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff I have doesn't necessarily have haste. But I do send a couple guys after Teysa and Kaalia. And I kind of spread it out a little bit, you know. Probably shouldn't have done that, because when I spread it out, it means that Teysa is going to gain more life than she should really get. But it does mean that some of this stuff gets destroyed. Aurelia gets exiled. Karametra's at 1, Kaalia's at 10, and Teysa's back up to 22 now. I exile Aurelia. Karametra doesn't really get anything. She does get Grazing Gladeheart. Bronze in her graveyard, I think. Kaalia still has no black mana source. But she does play Hallowed Burial, which slows me down a ton. I lose all my fun stuff here. However, there's still some nice fat stuff in Kaalia's graveyard, and I've got Dimir Doppelganger to try and copy it or steal it. Exile it, whatever. Go away. There we go. Teysa is going to bring her... Oh, Grave Titan back out. Okay. If you guys hear the clock in the background, just ignore it. So I'm going to thaw in Glaciers because I've got Cabal Coffers out there to try and get more swamps out and more mana. I play Dimir Doppelganger, and I use her to turn into a Chroma. And then I play Una, and I use a Chroma to attack Teysa. Karametra makes a Cleric at the end of her turn with Heliod. Oh, the trample isn't from Braun, it's from Kaalia, my bad. However, Cathar's Crusade is going to be problematic with Heliod. It's going to start making big clerics. But she holds back. Kaalia has Glaring Spotlight. That's not going to do anything. So now what I really want to do... Oh, Grave Titan is going to start attacking people so that Teysa can start gaining life. Kaalia's out there. He kills off Kaalia. And then... plays Drana. Alright. Stop. So, what I really want to do is I got to get rid of Karametra so it's just one-on-one. Kaalia's gone. I do have Hero's Demise in hand, and some other fun stuff, but my main plan is to use Una to start exiling stuff to make fairy tokens. I'm very unlucky with this. I managed to... I only do it for 3, and I don't get anything from Teysa's library because I chose black and she had 2 white cards. So I'm going to kill off Karametra, and now Teysa goes up to 25. And then I'm going to Mystical Tutor and grab Rite of Replication. And then I Hero's Demise Drana. Alright. Teysa plays Bloodchief Ascension and attacks me with everything. My plan now, is to use Rite of Replication to copy the Grave Titan. Kicked. So I don't want to kill off the Grave Titan with a Chroma. Instead, what I'm going to do is just try and make a bunch of fairies and block a few of them. And I pump like 10 mana or something into it. How many mana is it? 15 mana, and I only make 4 tokens. But it's enough to kind of protect me. I go ahead and attack with both my dudes. I knock him down to 14. And then I do the Rite of Replication, Grave Titans, and I make a bunch of dudes. I've got Demonic Tutor in hand, and there's only like 2 or 3 counterspells in this deck, but I use the Demonic Tutor to search up mana drain. And Teysa doesn't have any cards in hand. So I'm hoping that he doesn't draw anything crazy. It's Elspeth. I'm not worried about Elspeth at all. And that's the game. He's only at 14, and he doesn't have enough mana to... or enough creatures to block all my dudes. And I make a few more tokens with Una as well. So anyways, Puppeteer Click is kind of not really played much anymore. Una is a fun card that doesn't see a lot of play anymore. Dimir Doppelganger copied a Chroma. There's some fun stuff. And the problem is, like, my mass removal is Neverneural's Disc and Oblivion Stone, and neither of those really do anything against the current gods. So it's something to worry about. But anyways, that was how Wrexial went. Alright, stick around for more, guys. Thanks.